A beautiful morning to you. You're welcome to another exciting edition of ATN Sports Personality Show. And of course, today's edition promises to be an exciting one as we'll take a look at another sports personality on today's edition of the show. Today, we're taking a look at Ebo Swaner's athletes, talking about Leslie Terbogo. Of course, he is the winner of the Louisiana Diamond at the 2024 Louisiana Diamond League. And of course, we're also taking a look at his life because of the feats he put up at the Paris 24 Olympic Game. Winning 200 meters event was a really huge one, of course, for him. We'll have a lot, of course, to unravel about the man today on the show. It promises to be very, very exciting. So we'll, of course, I urge you to sit tight as we, of course, tell you all that you need to know about Leslie Terbogo. Stay with us. We'll be right back. You're welcome back to the ATN Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, we told you we're taking a look at another sports personality on today's edition of the show, and no other than Leslie Terbogo. Of course, he's from Botswana, and why are we talking about him this morning? As because of the feats we saw in the 2024 Louisiana Diamond League that was that happened, of course, this week, and we saw that impressive performance from him as well at the Paris 2024 Olympic game, where he put up a very impressive performance in the 200 meters hurdle. He got past the likes of the United States of America, the very best, to get that. That was the first time, of course, an African athlete is doing so well, or did so well in the 200 meters event, and for me, it's really, really a remarkable one. And then, he actually added up, he also put up another performance in the Louisiana Diamond League we talked about, earlier. So we're going to take a look at the lives of Leslie Terbogo this morning. And joining me to take a look at Leslie Terbogo this morning is Dr. Elechi Weke. Doctor, good morning.
Yeah, good
welcome
morning
to the show.
Good morning, Kingsley, and good morning to our viewers this morning. It's nice talking sports this morning.
Yes, Doctor, very nice talking sports because you're looking very, very bright, this morning. Seems.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's talk about Terbogo because we understand that the man was born on the 7th of June 2000, on the 7th of June 2003, and is a Botswana sprinter. He was born in. Of course, by parents that's in Kenya and Botswana, and he completed his elementary education at a reputable local school. He revealed on social media that he registered for his secondary education at Koborene West Junior Secondary School, and has since graduated from high school and is putting lots of effort into getting accepted into a prominent university. He won the gold medal at the 2004 and 2024 Summer Olympics in the 200 meters event with his win earning the first ever Olympic gold medal for Botswana. He also won the silver medal at the 2023 World Championship in 100 meters and followed it up with a bronze medal in the 200 meters 5 days later. And that's why, of course, we're looking at, Leslie Terbogo, what he's done, of course, for himself. But Doc, what do you make of his early life? We understand he didn't have a rosy, early life.
Yes.
You could just I mentioned the fact that he's still struggling, of course, to get his education completed, and all of that. What do you make of it for him?
He's still a young man, and at the age of 21, he has really achieved a lot. If we go back to look at his early life, it's a life that transited from a village life to a town or a city life. Now, one thing about him is that he was raised by a single mother. Now, if you check somebody who was raised by a single mother, you see that most times the mother will always be there to encourage and ensure that the child get the best. And the child also, if it is a child that really understands what it takes to have just a single parent, they call it a single primary caregiver. As the child is growing up, when you have the two parents, we call them primary caregivers. When you have a single primary caregiver, that means the mother will be performing the role of the father and as well the role of a mother. And as such, the attention of the father that the child will need is not always there. So growing up, being raised by a single mother is sometimes an advantage, and most times it's also a disadvantage. A disadvantage in the sense that the role of the father will be missed. An advantage in the sense that it is an opportunity for you to persevere and work harder to achieve what you want to achieve, since the father is not there. You know that nobody is there for you. The only thing that is left for you is for you to work hard. Now, if we look at his early life, at the age of 6, he was already playing football side by side with sprint. He was a sprinter, and at the same time he was playing football. And his teacher, from the documentary he had, said that he was encouraged by his teacher to practice both sports. But he complained that at a certain time he was having numerous injuries in football. And secondly, he was not being selected. He was always on the bench. So he decided to focus on athletics. At a very tender age, in 2016, he was running for his own primary school, because he attended primary school in the village. He was running for his own primary school in the 2016 Botswana Primary School Sports Association, where he won gold in the 100-meter, 200-meter, and 4x100 relay. So this is a main field, which at this point, when he won these 3 medals, it gave him the opportunity to be invited to the national team. So he was already at the national camp at a very tender age. So you see that his life has been that of transition from a village boy to a city boy. But he made good use of the opportunity. We shouldn't forget to understand that the Botswana had a system. The Botswana government, or the Botswana as a nation, had a system that was working. If the system weren't working, it would have been difficult, because he wouldn't have even have the opportunity of having a place to train. Though he complained of not having boot and also living with relatives. And these relatives, most times, when there is opportunity for a gift to be presented to the child, it will be as if they are taking care of one child more than the other. So that was one major reason why he didn't have. But all these things didn't deter him. He was ready to walk himself up to the ladder. And at the age of 21, he's already a gold medalist in the Olympics, in the Paris. A feat which even our own great Frankie Frederick of Namibia could not. I think Frankie Frederick did not win Olympic. I think he's the first African to win an Olympic gold medal.
In 200 meters.
In 200 meters. Frankie Frederick was one of the greatest in the 200 meter from Africa, but he couldn't win it. So kudos must be given to the young man, because he has really done enough. And with the way he's going, I think he's going to achieve a lot. Don't be surprised, he's going to go to the 400 meter, because from his strength, he does more when the race is a bit lengthier. That's why he couldn't perform very much well in the 100 meter.
All right, but before we talk about the various events, talking about the 100 meters, probably let's say the 400 meters, which you think your course is going to do well, we understand that at least the parents, they came from both Kenya and Botswana. You understand how the Kenyans are, when it has to do with athletics. You think that blood, is in him, taking a look at what he's doing at this point.
Yes, of course, most times, most of these traits are hereditary. And when you have inherited that trait of sprint or athleticism, it's easier for you to carry out whatsoever profession or whatsoever that you intend doing. I think that's Kenyan trait from the father. I think it's the father or the mother. Yeah, from the father. Yeah, that Kenyan trait must have also played a very big role in shaping him to becoming what he is right now. But we shouldn't also consider that having a trait alone is not enough. It's not enough, especially in the African system. We should always give kudos to the Botswana government. Now they have a competition for primary school. The primary school competition is not just for a school, it's for the entire nation, where the best from each primary school comes together to run, and he was picked from that event. So it's not just the trait, in as much as the trait that he inherited from the father must have played a role, but we should give kudos to the environment, the facilities. They were there. If the facilities weren't there, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to showcase what he had. We have so many talents languishing in Nigeria today. Sports, primary school sports, secondary school sports, it's only a mere academic exercise. It's only a mere opportunity for proprietors of schools to get money. It's only a mere opportunity for principals and head teachers to get money and see how they live a good life. Yeah. No longer a situation where we should have all primary schools come together to get talent. It should be a talent hunt ground. If we do it in Nigeria and we're able to continue to monitor. Now, just check, for instance, he took first in 100 meter, 200 meter. I was also part of the relay team that came out tops in that primary school competition. At that tender age, he was not up to 15. He got an invitation to the national camp immediately. That means there was a system.
So they were monitoring his
progress. They were monitoring. Immediately they noticed that, and he also said that he noticed that in every event he went, he was always running more than everybody. He was always at the forefront of everybody. We have so many of them in Nigeria. And if Nigeria can toe the line of Botswana, I don't want us to look at what France or US is doing. Let us toe the line of Botswana. Botswana is made up of about 2.7 or thereabout million persons. Nigeria is made up of 200 million persons. If Rivers State alone can have a school sports program that will bring together all the primary schools in Rivers State, we are going to harness a lot of talents. I'm not looking at secondary school, primary school.
All right, Doc, talking about his progress and what he's done for himself, so far. He talked about his mother, how she was so instrumental and how she has been a source of inspiration, to him getting to where he is today. What do you make of the role his mother played, in his life?
We cannot take it away from the mother. What's that her name? Seratiwa Tebago.
Yeah.
Seratiwa Tebago. We can't take away the role the mother played in the career of the young man. Now, single mothers, especially those who understand what it takes to have a child. We have single mothers that doesn't understand that they have children. They are out there seeking for a man, seeking for what will benefit them. But the mother knew that these ones are gifts, just like the Bible made us to understand that children are heritage. These are gifts from God. And each child has certain destiny, have certain talent. The mother look at it that this is what God has given me. I have to play the role. If my husband is no longer there, let me play the role of both husband and wife, of which she did very well. And that is why you see that even his own boot, he crested the initials of the mother on the boot and the date of birth of the mother, even on his fingers, on his knees. He crested the date of birth of the mother, though the mother is no longer alive to witness what is happening, but himself, he dedicated the gold medal to the mother. I think the mother has been the foundation of everything he had become in life. If not for the mother, I think it would have been so difficult, because it is somebody that has seen food to eat, somebody that has seen the opportunity to enter into school. If he had not gone to primary school, there's no way they would have noticed that such talent exists. And we have so many of these kind that don't have the opportunity to even enter a primary school. If they are able to enter, maybe they will just go 1, 2 and come back. But the mother was there to encourage him. We must really encourage every single mother to do that.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
if we do that, the society will be a better place.
All right, let's take a look, taking a look at the early life and how, let's say, Tobago, of course, push himself down to where he is today. Just like Doc mentioned, at the age of 6, Tobago was already a well-rounded footballer and sprinter. His teachers encouraged him to practice both sports, but injuries hampered his football career, so he opted to focus solely on track. In Southern Reports, I used to run past people and won medals. I also played football. Every time, though, I went to play football, I was being benched. He explained his other motivation to focus on track instead of football. This made me frustrated and prompted my decision to go back to athletics, as I saw that I'm able to put food on the table for my family. From that added the runner whose single mother, Asheratiwa, struggled to raise him and his younger brother. So, Doc, you could take a look at the difficulty he had in football. Not that he was not that he was so injured, but the fact that he wasn't having game time. I think, according to him, that's what also prompted him to athletics. And for the fact that athletics was putting food on the table for himself and the mother and the younger brother.
Yes, he really made the right choice. Now, you ask yourself, how many players of Botswana origin had made it to the top level in football? I don't know if you understand me. It may not outrightly be that he wouldn't have done well in football if he had continued. But the truth is, he would have ended up being just at that Botswana Football Federation or Football League level. It would have been very difficult for him to have moved from Botswana, maybe probably from Botswana to South Africa. Because we have so many good footballers, except God had destined. But I think the area of athletics, the sprint, was what God had destined for him, of which, if you watch, at the age of 21, he's already there. While many at the age of 35, they have not been able to achieve anything. In Nigeria, we have so many so many people who are over 25 that is yet to achieve anything in sprint. But this young man at the age of 21 has everything that he ought to have in sprint. So I think his decision was prompted by what God had destined him to be. God has really seen him to be a good athlete instead of football. So if he had chosen football,
you think he would have struggled?
He would have struggled because the opportunity wouldn't have been there like it is for him in athletics. One thing you have to understand about athletics, it's not like football. Football, there are so many talents. But in athletics, if you set a record in athletics, even if it is a village meet, the record will stand. His record started from Botswana, and even the World Athletic Federation began to take note of those records. It wasn't just a record that it wasn't just a situation where you play football. For instance, if you play amateur football in Nigeria, nobody, even if you have the best of talent, nobody is taking note. That is not the case with athletics. He set a record in Botswana. The whole world knows that this is a record. Yeah. And they will come for it. They will begin to invite you for meets all over, for athletic meetings all over the world. So you see that the opportunity for him to succeed was more in athletics than football. So he actually made the right choice.
All right, and at the 2016 Botswana Primary School Sports Association Championship, he won the 100 meters, 200 meters, and the 4x100 meters relay, earning his first call-up to the national team. At the age of 13, he went on to claim 200 meters bronze and help his team to the 4x100 meters relay silver at the Confederation of School Sport Association of Southern African Championship in Namibia. Leslie Tobogo gained his first international experience at the age of 17 at the 2021 World Athletics Relay held in May in Warsaw, Poland. In August, he competed at the World Under-20 Championship in Nairobi, Kenya, winning the 100 meters and finishing second in the 200 meters. On the 19th of February 2022, the 18-year-old set a new national record in the 100 meters at the Botswana Athletic Championship with a time of 10.08 seconds. 2 months later, he became the first man from Botswana to break the 10 seconds barrier at the event as he clocked a time of 9.96 seconds at the Gaborone International Meet, setting a new world under 20 record down there. So, you know, talking about shifting attention to athletics, Doc, we understand that he really was groomed, you know, through school sports. That is what I'm saying. That is
the essence of catching them young. It's not like what we have in Nigeria. When I was in secondary school, we used to have good athletes. Back in school, we used to have good athletes in secondary school, and for each of the houses. Back then, we had red house, yellow house. We have good athletes in each of the houses, and you have a situation where you have, just like this last Olympics, where you have the first 6 athletes in the finals. The difference between their time was just very, very close. Tobago took 6th position, 9.86 seconds. Now the winner was 9.79 seconds. You check the difference. The difference is not much than 0.05 seconds between the winner and the 6th. There is that closeness. So if we had school sports in Nigeria, we would have been producing great athletes, especially in this spring.
But we used to have.
According to the adage in Pidgin, say, I get them before, no be property. We used to. What happened? Maladministration. Now, when you bring in incompetent hands into running of the administration of sports, you get the result you desired. Planning to fail is already failing to plan. We need competent hands. Now, we have a certain person, I think, is it Solomon Obaohu? Benga Olubaluye, who is the current AF president?
Athletics Federation of Nigeria president, Tinubu Kokoa. Yeah, he's the president of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria.
Fine. They have been in the system. Sports is beyond that of favoritism, nepotism, tribalism. It must be my brother. It must be somebody from my side. No! I tell people, if we have a certain set of athletes from the same parents that will represent the country and win medals, why not we allow them to do that? The problem of Nigeria is bringing in the wrong people. When you bring in the wrong people to administer sports, they will give what they have. You can't give what you don't have. Politics of nepotism and tribalism has really brought Nigeria down to the extent that it has affected our sports. Whether football, basketball, badminton, or whatsoever, athletics, the maladministration, nepotism, tribalism has reduced us to nothing. That is why the facilities we used to have back then, like for instance in Rivers State, it was the policy of the state government, the education ministry, that each secondary school or primary school must have a football field. Each school must have certain sports facilities. But today, now we have the private sector, private school sector, we have the the public school sector. Majority of the children now go into private school because they think that the private school is the schools that give quality education. Most of these private schools, they don't have facilities for sports. And because the facilities are there is no first-hand training ground for these upcoming athletes.
Coaches as well.
The coaches are not there. We were taught physical and health education. I can still remember vividly very well when we were taught basketball. They will tell you the rules of basketball, how to throw, and we don't just we are not being taught just in the
classroom.
In the classroom, we also as well go to the basketball field where they teach us how to throw and how you can commit a foul and how you cannot commit a foul and what you need to do. Now, if children were taught, if we have a system, we'll have major league sports like subjects like basketball should be taught by the coaches. We should have a coach beside the teacher. We should also have a coach. We should train these people, and when they begin to train them at that tender age, we'll produce a lot of talent. Sure. Nigeria is made of over 200 million persons, and we have a great lot of talents among this 200 million population.
And that should say, of course, that Botswana, they've done a lot. You know, they won about four medals at the just concluded Paris Olympic game, and as big as Nigeria and
Rivers State alone is over 5 million persons. If Rivers State can organize its sports very well and have good athletes, Rivers State can win as much as 4 medals for Nigeria. Now, imagine if Rivers State can win 4, Lagos State 4, then let's say like 5 states is able to win 4 medals each for the nation. Tell me how many medals will coming back to Nigeria with. But each of the states, they are not after sports. Sports is the highest employer of labor in the world.
True.
We're complaining of unemployment. People are now in the streets. People have entered Yahoo. People have entered businesses that they are not supposed to. They say an idle mind is the devil's workshop. The mind will not be idle if the mind has a place it can walk up to and do something. Kudos must be given to institutions like University of Port Harcourt, where even people that are idle in the street sometimes are encouraged to gain admission and come and do sports. Yes. Since 2004 till date, University of Port Harcourt has been the winner of the Nigerian University Games till date, since 2004. I think I remember in 2004, Uniport hosted and won the game, and from that time till now, kudos must be given to the able sports director of the University of Port Harcourt. I don't want to mention his name, but he has really been doing a nice job. They go to the street. Victor Ezeji, who was a veteran in Nigerian football, graduated the University of Port Harcourt. He read accounting in the University of Port Harcourt. They go to the street. Favor Ofili is a graduate of University of Port Harcourt. We had a certain Eric Williams, rather, who was a swimmer. We have a certain Obia in Ngekabo, who was also a swimmer. These ones participated in the Olympics and African Games. These are products of the University of Port Harcourt. But they shouldn't just be a University of Port Harcourt thing. It should be a deliberate effort to develop sports, just like the Botswana government is doing. When we now have a deliberate effort, you will be happy when the result is coming. Imagine as a parent, you take your child to the school and they are having sports. Your child is participating in one of the events. You are outside, your child is running very well. It makes you happy. But when you didn't prepare well, even if your child had entered a race, you just say anything, anyhow it is, let it be.
All right, let's say it is. We hope that the sport ministry down here in Nigeria will also take one or two lessons from what the Botswana government they've done in terms of sports development. And of course, that has helped the life of, let's say, Tobago, the man we're talking about this morning, who have put Botswana, of course, on the map this time around for a very, very good reason. Winning the 200 meters at the Paris Olympic game with a very huge feat, of course, for Tobago and Botswana, and as well, you know, just winning the 2024 Lucena Diamond League event as well was also an impressive one. But at this point, we'll take a short break. When we'll come back from the break, we'll continue to take a look at the career of Lester Tobago this morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back. You're welcome back to the Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, today we're taking a look at Botswana sprinter Leslie at Bogo. Of course, he's the winner of the 2024 Lucena Diamond League. And also the man who got Botswana their first gold medal at the Olympic, at the Olympic, where he won the 200 meters, when he won gold medal in the 200 meters event at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. But still talking about the man, on the 15th of July here, he further improved his record in his debut race at the World Athletics Championship held in Eugene, Oregon, with a time of 9.94 seconds. The following month, he broke his own record again, clocking 9.91 seconds performance in the finals of the World Under-20 Championship in Cali, Colombia. At the end of the race, he celebrated early, drawing comparison to 100 meters and 200 meters world record holder Usain Bolt. His favorite, of course, his favorite event, we understand, is the 200 meters. But before we talk about his favorite event, Doc, what do you make of it? He said, you know, his mentor, someone he always look up to, is Usain Bolt, and everyone is looking at, let's say, Tobago to be the man to break that record that Usain Bolt sets. Do you see him doing that?
Yes, I do. It's all about a game of mindset and hard work. Yeah, if he set his mind on breaking that record, and watching his age, he's just 21. At the age of 21, where was Usain Bolt? I don't know if you understand me. Yeah. At the age of 21, where was Usain Bolt? He's 21, and if he sets his mind in achieving, if at 21 he can win and run it at the 100 meter, he ran a time of 9.86 seconds. At previous Olympics, 9.86 seconds, we win you the gold. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. At previous Olympics, Maurice Green was, I think, 9.85 seconds. Maurice Green, back then in 1996 Olympics. So if it were other Olympics, maybe he would have won silver or a gold. So if he had set his mind on breaking that Usain Bolt's record of 9.58 seconds, or even the 200 meter record, it's something he can achieve. It's achievable. Because he's a young man that has set his mind on achieving whatever thing he targets in life. Remember when he lost the 100 meter race, he told himself that even after losing this, I can't let the 200 meter go. He was not the favorite for the 200 meter, but he won it. Noah Les was the favorite of US. Yes. But he beat all his competitors to the tops.
You know, he's talking about the 200 meters, you know, and the fact that he wants to break Usain Bolt's record. We understand what happened in that 200 meters race, where Noah Lyles, you know, contracted COVID, and he couldn't participate in that particular one. I don't know what you make of it. If he was there, do you think Tobago would have? Yes, Noah Lyles. You think if he was there, you think Tobago would have gotten this opportunity?
Of course, he would have. And secondly, you also have to understand this, that most times some certain things happen for the best to be brought out of others. If Noah Lyles was there, he wouldn't, maybe the competition would have been stiffer. It would have been a stiffer competition than what actually translated. But because he has set his mind, he would have gotten the gold medal. Because the 200 meter has always been his favorite as compared to the 100 meter. He tends to do better when the race extends after 100 meter. He gains more strength and more force as he moves beyond the 100 meter line. So I think he would have done that.
All right, so talking about his favorite race, Tobago enjoys the longer dash events more than the 100 meters, and his target is to join the sub-20 club. So he was disappointed when he finished second behind Nigeria's Udodi Wazirike in the 200 meters last year in Kenya, and he now plans to sign off as a junior with a sprint double at the Under-20 World Championship in Cali. He is a history maker, and the Under-20 World Champion was the first winner for first runner from the Botswana ever to win a 100 meters event on a global stage. He is still only the second man after London 2012 Olympic silver medalist Niger Amos to win a gold medal in the World Under-20 Athletics Championship. Tobago is now the second sprinter to break the 10 seconds barrier after American Bromell. USA's Matthew Abole ran a 9.98 seconds in 2019 when he was also 18, but it didn't go down in the history book because of the tailwind. Now he looks up to Usain Bolt, like we mentioned. The fastest man in history is 8-time Olympic champion Usain Bolt, who ran 9.58 seconds at the 2009 World Championship in Berlin. And nothing excites a rising star and more than being referred to as a world record holder like the legendary Usain Bolt, who broke the world record when he was 23. So Usain Bolt did his in 23 years.
At the age of 23.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying that if you check age is more on the side of Tobago compared to Usain Bolt. Yeah. Although most times age doesn't really matter in sports, because sometimes they say the old wine tastes better.
It's always at that moment when you are young. That's when you have that energy more
than when you are getting. Yes, sometimes like that. But some athletes age finer, they tend to do better while they age, while some tend to do better at tender age. It depends on it. Sometimes it's a thing of mind, and it's also a thing of composure. Now, if your body can, some people's body can carry at that older age, while some people, they tend to utilize all the energy when they are very young. By the time they are getting old, the energy is no longer there. So that's just the point. But for him to have put all the effort at this early stage of his career, I think he's going to
means the future is bright.
Very, very bright. Even how old is our Consider Economy? I think it's 25 or thereabout.
No, Consider Economy is very young. We had I think it's 20.
20, yes, right?
Yes, 1920.
Okay, yes, he's 1920.
Very young.
So these are, if we have such athletes, they need to take them out and begin to fix them in international meets. Not for them to stay at home. From information I gathered, Botswana has as small as Botswana. Botswana is smaller than Niger. No, Niger. I think they should be smaller than Niger. Yes, Niger State.
Niger State in Nigeria.
Yes, they have 12 stadiums. 12 functional stadiums. Nigeria has over 50 stadiums that are not functional.
Over 50?
We have over 50 stadiums. In River State alone, how many do we have? Should I name the stadiums we have in River State? We have plenty of stadiums in River State. If you go to Degema, we'll have a stadium in Degema. If you go to Okrika, we'll have a stadium in Okrika. If you come to Omok, we have Krizera Stadium in Omok. If you go to come to Port Harcourt alone, Port Harcourt, we have the three major stadiums. We have Shark Stadium, we have Yakubu Gowon Stadium, we have Adokia Mercy Stadium. These are three major stadiums. So you see that there are several stadiums, but are these stadiums functional?
So why did they build? Why investing money in putting up the stadium and then they don't build it? They don't keep it to the standard.
These are white elephant projects that the politicians would want to use to see how they get more money. Their interest is not building the stadium. Their interest is to ensure that they have a structure that they can say, this was what I did, even if it doesn't function after building it.
All right, let's see it goes. We'll hope that
it's very appalling. The whole thing is very, very appalling.
Get better than here. Now, for the moment, Tobago is content with smashing junior records being touted as one of African sprinters to watch in 2022 and beyond. And he also put up a very impressive performance as well in that year. Talking about 2022, had a little bit of an impressive performance. But Botswana's Leslie Tobago takes nation first gold. He took his nation first gold in Olympics. That's on the 8th of August 2024. Talked about that. Won the 200 meters final at the Paris Olympic, earning the first ever gold medal for Botswana with a time of 19.46 seconds. 19.46 seconds. History victory. His victory led to a holiday being declared in Botswana to celebrate his feat on the afternoon. And the 9th of August, the government of Botswana also awarded him 2 houses in recognition of the victory. Botswana, Lesotho Tobago was the toast of Africa after winning the Olympic 200 meters gold on, but his immediate thoughts were much closer to home as he dedicated his victory to his mother who died in May. Tobago became the first African to win the event when he ran 19.46 seconds to beat American Kenny Bednarik, and the COVID hit Noah Lyles to claim Botswana's first Olympic gold medal and became the 5th fastest man in history over the half lap. And the man, of course, has been so fantastic, and that's why, of course, the government of Botswana actually, recognize him and give him a lot. We heard he was given houses and a lot of things,
They say success has so many relatives.
Sure.
He's a national hero, and for a tiny country like Botswana, who so many, even Europeans, some Europeans don't even know anything about Botswana. He's already bringing the name of, he's putting the name of Botswana on the world map.
Yeah.
It's a feat that even Nigerians, the South Africans, the Egyptians, the Moroccans have not achieved. Bigger nations in Africa could not achieve that. I think the bigger nations in Africa need to borrow a leaf from the tiny nations like Botswana, like Trinidad and Tobago, like St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, like Jamaica. These are very small, tiny countries. Look at what programs they have. How do they run their sports? Especially athletics. Athletics can take chunks of Nigerian population out of the streets.
Sure.
When you know that you have a meet in Kenya in April, and this is January, you cannot be on the street doing yahoo yahoo. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Even if you go there and you don't take first, but you already know that the government is sponsoring you somewhere. You cannot be on the street to do yahoo yahoo. You will be on the training ground to train towards that event. Imagine where we have a system where these youths are engaged in numerous sports activities. For instance, in football, we already have academies. Okay, social academy, although they do it now, but it's on the individual basis. Social academy will be traveling to maybe Norway for competition. You know that this year you have a Norway competition. Because you have a Norway competition this year, will you be on the street to do anything? No, you will be on the training ground. You are training towards what? The competition you have in Norway.
Yeah.
Or invariably, we have a competition in Abuja. Your team is going to Abuja to play the competition. You will be training. That is how social vices, criminality, kidnapping, and all the rest will be reduced in the society. It takes those who understand how the system works to bring sanity to the system. We cannot just stand today and begin to count gold medals when we have not prepared to win the gold medals. We need to bring in the round pegs on a round hole. People who can stand and say, this is what we want, and they go for it. I may not be a perfect administrator, but if I go into the system, I would also like to pick in people like me who can do something that will promote the system. If you fail to promote the system, maybe you are favoring somebody and you destroy the system will remain for me and you. Your children will come and inherit that destroyed system. I don't want to mention names, but we have seen children of those who wants to destroy, who are destroying the system. They end up not doing well.
All right, Steve, talking about let's say Tobago. He is the first. He is the first child of his parents. You know, after doing a lot of research online, we discovered that his mother's name is Saratiwa Tobago, and she works in the neighborhood to support the family. In an interview, he reviewed that he was raised by his single mother. Well, not too much, of course, about his father. His father's identity and occupation, of course, he didn't really disclose that. But of course, we understand he has a younger sibling whose name and other details as well was still, of course, trying to unravel. And then it was, of course, a very impressive one, talking about his family, and from what we know to see his mother, or what we heard, that his mother was very, very instrumental to his success, despite the fact that, of course, she's no more. I think he still, of course, remember all that the mom, did for him. But let's take a look at, of course, his net worth. This is astounding. The Leslie Tobago competes in several competitions and make money from his sport. His estimated net worth is $1.9 million. Together with his mother and brother, he reside in a gorgeous house. He is exerting every effort to increase revenue from his game and improve the standard of living for his family. So, Doc, you could see that the man has a lot of responsibility, being the first child of his parents, having a sibling, and then, the mom is no more. I think, he's been really favored by nature, to say, at least, having done this. I think the Botswana government, of course, will be able to make sure that he have a very, very soft landing. And I think for me, these are things we do talk about sometime. When an athlete performs very well, there should be a situation whereby the government, the federal government should honor him
both with awards, cash, landed properties, and everything that will make him live a comfortable life. No, I think the thing that most times that we don't do as federations, as government in this part of the world, is trying to understand that these athletes, immediately they become part of the system. They should be made part of the government agencies that run these sports. For instance, these ones that compete for us, if they are made part of the what do they call it? Nigerian Athletic Federation of Nigeria, AFN. If they are made part of the AFN agency, where they are paid monthly salaries, this will be a big motivation to all of them. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be a situation. That means automatically, as they are part of the workforce of the AFN, immediately they retire, they are already becoming coaches. I don't know if you understand me.
Yeah.
So if they become coaches, we now have a lot of people to groom the younger ones. So they have seen athletics as a profession, not just something they would do for, let's say, 5 years. After 5 years, they will retire. No. If we inculcate these people, and I believe that's what the Botswana government has done to this young man, which will also help other athletes that want to follow or toe his line. This will encourage them to do that. If this is not done, then automatically they won't see athletics to be a means to an end in life.
All right, let's see how it goes. But that's it about, let's see, Tobago, the Botswana athlete who, of course, has put Africa on the map when it has to do with the 200 meters at the Olympics. We told you he's the first African to win a gold medal in the 200 meters. So he didn't only put Botswana on the world map, he also put Africa as well. So for me, it means a lot. And this